Welcome to this week's Spinfoil Theory. We're about to take a dive into the lore of Destiny the game. Specifically, we'll be giving a high-level scrutiny to popular, emerging, and outlying theories, then judging them. With that out of the way, let's put on our Spinfoil hats and get a little crazy. Here comes this week's show. We've clicked now.
I hope so. I hope we've clicked.
It's on the record.
Yes.
Yeah. No, this is good. And I am loving this new Audacity 3.0.
All right, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's darker than dark Audacity.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm sold. I need that darkness.
Okay. All right. Welcome to the Spinfoil Theory podcast, everyone. This is your host, Taylor-B, along with our other host of the show, LadyLucida. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Yeah. There's of Eternity came out this week, along with the Grasp of Paraverse. I totally butchered that. But the new dungeon, love it. Gallahorn, insane. Everything's great.
I really liked the little lore for the Gallahorn too. The lore page.
Yeah, no, I love the lore of it. I thought it was great.
I was a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little sad that that they had to go talk shit about my boy the Gambit Horn.
Yeah.
Bad Omens.
Sorry.
Just threw it.
Just
fucking
like,
shot it with the Gallahorn.
Sorry, Gallahorn's a little bit better. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
It is definitely better.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I stand by little buddy though. Anyway, if you don't believe me, get the Gallahorn. Put a Taken spec on it. A Taken spec.
What? You can't put mods on exotics.
Not the Gallahorn, I'm sorry, the Bad Omens.
Okay.
If you don't believe me, get a Bad Omens. Get the Bad Omens that's the role that the Drifter gives you.
Okay.
Slap a Taken spec on it. And you could probably just go like anywhere that there's Taken and try this out, but dude. I mean, I'm sure the Gallahorn does better now that it exists again, but that thing, I called it the Gambit Horn because that thing would actually take like sizable chunks out of bosses. It was like nice DPS, especially if you were like running Utility Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
You're not really.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that. That's cool. But yeah, I really like that they changed Gallahorn's perks so that it gives everybody Wolf Pack rounds. I think it's really cool because I remember back in the day, God, that makes me sound old, but back in the day in Destiny 1, LFG was very gatekeepy and was like, oh, if you don't have Gallahorn, you can't get out. We're kicking you. Like, that happened a lot. And I was the one who was always kicked because, well, I didn't get Gallahorn. I didn't get Gallahorn until Zur sold it. The second time.
I got it like right before he sold it, and they like air quotes nerfed it, so I had like a week of getting to like play with classic Gallahorn. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I didn't even get to play with classic Gallahorn. No, it's fine. I don't care. I'm over it. It was years ago. I'm not salty. No. I still remember the first exotic I got was Icebreaker. And Icebreaker's pretty good. I like that gun. I understand why I could probably...
Which one?
Icebreaker, the sniper
Icebreaker,
with infinite.
yeah.
I understand why that probably can't come back to the Destiny 2 sandbox, because infinite...
Yeah, that or Invective.
Or Invective,
no,
yeah.
can't come back.
Those ones, because that would just break the sandbox. So I get why.
I mean, I think it broke it. They kind of broke it before.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Remember, there was whole like strategies of like soloing Nightfalls and stuff, where like, all right, get in your hidey hole and take out your Icebreaker. Like,
pretty much, yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think that's why they haven't brought back Icebreaker or Invective, because they'd either have to change the perk a bunch, and then it wouldn't really be Icebreaker.
Yeah.
Or Invective.
Does New Gallahorn still tracks, right?
Yes, it does. It tracks.
Does it take a minute or something? I've had a number of times where it just like goes straight.
Yeah, it kind of, the tracking's a little iffy jiffy. Like it's not as strong as like truth tracking. But yeah, it does take a sec. You gotta wait for the little ding. Then it's like, alright, it's good.
Okay. Maybe I'm just being impatient. Yeah, I'm
that way too sometimes.
The first one, speaking of truth, that was the first exotic I ever got.
Oh,
It was like that, and then I think the first armor piece I ever got was like Aclophage symbiote.
I don't remember my first exotic armor. I don't remember. I think it might have been uh I want to see like Knucklehead Raider. I think it was a helmet. Knucklehead Raider sounds
Radar's
about
a
right.
good one.
I like that helmet. I think it looks
I,
cool.
I I used to wear that all the time in Demo. Oh, dude, I just realized in D2, since they're not going to do factions anymore, like if you have those faction ornaments for your exotics, that's like a premium thing now.
Yeah, I have the Future War Cult. I do not have any of the New Monarchy stuff because I hate New Monarchy and I will never, ever join them. And I'm kind of mad I never did because I don't have those nice red shaders. And there aren't any good red shaders except for the New Monarchy ones. So I'm mad at myself.
Was your thinking each time like, there's no way I'm going to be a space communist? Get
Well,
out of here.
my plan was okay. Like the first faction rally, I joined Dead Orbit because of those black and white shaders. Then the next one, I joined Future War Cult. And then I'm like, all right. Then the next one, I'll join New Monarchy. And then there wasn't a next one. So it's like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I would do one on each character.
Yeah, that would have been smart, but I figured it would be. I wanted to get like the armor on all three, so I was like, all right, boom. What I should have done is just like, once one of the times have, my Hunter be Dead Orbit, my Warlock be Future War Cult, my Titan be New Monarchy, and then the next one flip it and have, my Hunter be New Monarchy, my Titan be Dead Orbit, or whatever. Whatever order it is. I'm just annoyed that those shaders should be available for everybody because it doesn't, like, shaders are shaders. They shouldn't be.
Especially now that they're gone.
Yeah,
Or
especially
at least
now.
like re-release them as something else.
Yeah.
Like just give it a different name,
Or something.
and then you can tell the difference, right?
Yeah.
You can.
I mean, they did that with the Callus Selected shader. There's a Solstice shader that is literally the almost exact same. It's like the gold is like a slightly different gold, and the purple is like slightly different purple.
Okay. Okay. I like it. I finally settled on my sort of casual hunter look.
I know, I saw that. It looks very. I like your drip.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I feel like some kind of I obviously not to repeat the joke to you, but for fans who haven't seen, it's on my Twitter, but it's kind of like this. It reminds me of Mum and Rider, but if like if they're maybe like a Mum and Rider Black, Common Rider fans, you'll understand this. But definitely like a casual Friday. Like he's not out there patrolling. He's just like, I'm just getting my groceries today.
Just getting my groceries.
Yeah, and I had to pull the trigger on that little Game Boy.
Looking ghost. Yeah,
Ghost.
no, I saw that. As soon as I saw that, I thought of you because you like the retro.
I do. You totally had it right, and I was just like, well, all right. Opens wallet.
Pretty much. You're just like, all right, here I go.
This is the way. This is the way. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff for the Bungie 30th guys. In the store, I like the Ball is Life one too, the emote.
Yeah, there's a whole bundle that's that ghost, that emote, and then something else. I think it might be a ship.
So if you, I think it's just like, it's the sword finisher.
The finisher, right?
Yeah, but I think it's like how can I say this? They bundled them together saying that they're cool, but I think you still had to buy them separately. I don't think it was like
You can buy
a
all
one
three.
purchase thing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Which I thought was weird. I was like, but you called this the cool guy bundle.
Yes.
This is not a bundle.
Yes.
It's just but it's I did not get the finisher. But once I saw the Ball of Life, especially how it ends, I was like, oh yeah, yep. I like the ball is life, and I like the phone one the best. Where you just like approve of stuff, start tapping away.
Yeah.
Okay. This week, everyone, enough banter. This week, we are talking about a theory that has to do with the new Bungie 30th anniversary activities, the Dares of Eternity, which are so fucking cool. It might be my favorite thing that they've released in a while. What do you think, Lizzie?
I think it's really fun. I like it. It's interesting. I think that the Zer's dialogue and just how, I guess, wacky and crazy it is. I just think it's great. I think it's great. I love if you get Star Horse's favor, you have infinite heavy ammo. That is a very good way to farm out
nice
the cough Galahorn Catalyst. That's what I did. I went on the hard mode version of the Dares of Eternity. And when you get to the final boss, and if you have Star Horse's favor, the enemies just keep spawning forever. And I got to like 56% for the catalyst.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. Because you're going to keep having heavy ammo, and the enemies are just going to keep spawning, and your score never decays, ever. So you can pretty much take as long as you want. Because for one of Star Horse's bounties, you have to get like 300,000. And we got to the boss, and we were at like 225-ish. And you were like, shoot, we're not going to make it. And then we're like, okay, we'll just keep going and see how high we get. And the timer reached 30 minutes. And the store still hadn't gone down. And we're like, I think we could just do this forever. So then we all just kind of waited until we got the score to 30,000 and then 300,000. And then we, once we did that, then we're like, all right, nuke the boss.
That is super cool.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. That's a good spot. And then the very first, when you first load into the new dungeon, that's also a decent spot to farm catalysts, because those guys will just keep spawning. Keep spawning. Keep spawning. Forever.
I like it. That's really cool. I'm gonna keep that in mind. I might or join you guys next time you do it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, for the 30th anniversary seal, you need to do the legendary mode and have it be the different like first encounters before the boss. So you have to do it like every week, because it's a set rotation on legendary mode. It's not like, so like the first encounter is always going to be Fallen, the second encounter is always going to be Hive, and the boss is always going to be Zydron for this week, and then next week it'll be something else, and then I think Hive or something.
Okay.
It's different.
I can dig it. It does sound a little different, but that sounds kind of nice though. But that's just me.
Yeah. I think it's cool. It wasn't really that hard. I think the hard part for the legendary Dares of Eternity was that it's for the bounty, you have to be running weapons that match your subclass. And match game is also on, and we didn't know what.
Oh, Jesus. You didn't know like what you were going to run into.
What we were going to run into. So I was running Solar. Kelsey was running Void, and Eric was running Arc, I think. Yes. So, no, Eric was running Solar, because I think Eric already did the bounty. So I was running Solar. Kelsey was running Void with the smoke nades to turn us invis and give us damage resist, which was really helpful. And then I was running Solar with Celestial to do big damage.
I was gonna say, yeah, that sounds smart.
It was smart. It was hard for me because I've been playing a Warlock lately and going back to Hunter, and not a Hunter subclass I play a lot. I don't really play Solar very much. I play Void and Stasis
Yeah, I've played a lot of Stasis too, because I do really enjoy it, especially in PvE.
Oh
Like, it's
yeah, no,
not,
the changes they did too make it really fun.
yeah, especially. But Solar's my bae. That's my.
Solar is the best.
I yeah, no bias here, but it's my favorite. But yeah, and especially, but that does sound a little like your muscle memory might take a little longer to kick in, switching back, especially from like a class like Warlock where it's just completely
Yeah,
different.
definitely. I've definitely had like a kind of a little bit of a learning curve right now because I need to do Dares of Eternity on my hunter because I want that thorn armor. So
Hmm.
it's just been fun.
I like it. I can dig it. I can dig it. Well, you know, all of that talk, listeners, about Dares of Eternity was not for naught. One of the what brings us here tonight to actually spit it out already is uh, the theory that all of the Guardians participating, so like everyone who enters in through matchmaking, is like quotes or underlined, however you want to visualize it, the Guardian from a different part of the
I like
Paraverse.
that they call it instead of the multiverse, they're calling it the Paraverse. I think that's funny. As in like
Yeah.
paracausality, but it's para and then verse.
Well, and I also like that because then it becomes easier to visualize too because things are happening in
Yeah,
parallel.
definitely.
Like there's a, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So that's another thing because like like what are the odds you're gonna have like all these different exact like level guardians at this part in this, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Um, so I also really like that, but so that is the theory. And it I really like it. Like initial reaction. I really like this one because it makes sense. It makes sense that a lot of the stuff Zur says, like if you have your captions on, like I do, you notice that every time he says Guardians, it's a capital G,
True.
which is which is yeah. He makes reference to the Guardian when he's talking to you, and there's a few times that where they say like all our contestants, your prizes are pulled from across the
Yes.
Paraverse, like stuff like that, or like your enemies or just, some shit. Um, and I guess we haven't even covered the best. I'll get to that. I'm sorry, but fucking squirrel. But but sticking to topic. I really like where the theory is going. Like I think that's totally on point.
I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense because like they're already pulling stuff from Marathon and from Halo. So like it makes if the 9 can do that, I'm pretty sure the 9 can be like, "Oh look at all these the Guardians." Cuz technically even in like a gameplay lore a standpoint, you, the player, whoever you play as, you're the Guardian and everyone else is just like your backup, your extras for everything. So like when you're playing Taylor, you're the Guardian, but from my perspective, when I'm playing, I'm the Guardian. So technically, that's already true. Mind blown.
Dude, you know what I realized? So I I love that we're all the Guardian, but that also gives some credence to because you when during the Gallarhorn quest, which is part of the same release, the Bungie 30th anniversary. So like the Gallarhorn stuff is taking place like inside this conflux of the Paraverse, I guess is what we can call this place, eternity, you know, because even when you go on the Galahorn quest, so story spoilers, but when you go on the Gallarhorn quest, you go out into the arena and like hunt around for it, and you find this little pod, this like little like cryo like, and I want to say that's another
No,
reference,
that's for
obviously,
the
to
Forerunner, right? Not Galahorn.
the Forerunner. Sorry, yeah, not the Gallarhorn. Said the wrong one. Brain fart. We were talking about the Gallarhorn earlier, and now I'm like, that's got that on the brain. Sorry, guys. The Forerunner one. That's also part of it. Everything else I said, just forget I said Gallarhorn just now. Forerunner. And it's another reference to Master Chief. Kind of like Pod 343, if I recall correctly. Dude, but the pod looks different. I posted it in the Five Timers Club Lounge. But do you know what I realized that looks like? The fucking suicide pod from Reddit that was on Reddit like a couple days ago.
Huh.
That is...
That's crazy.
Right? I think I need to make a meme about this. I'll do that while I'm editing this later. After we finish. That makes me sad for this Master Chief now.
Poor Master Chief. He's just vibing.
I know, right? I know. Poor buddy. But yeah. So the one thing I will say is, if true, and how do, my favorite thing is that it's one big game show.
Oh yeah, no, the fact that it's all just a big game show, and we're basically entertainment for the 9 is just hilarious. Mm-hmm. And Star Horse. Is Star Horse the 9, or is Star Horse something separate than the 9?
Well, it's the one true Star Horse, so that makes me think it's the one Star Horse to rule them all.
So maybe it's like the above the 9, like Star Horse, like it goes Zur and the Emissary, then it goes the 9, then it goes Star Horse at the top of the pyramid.
Maybe Star Horse, because you know what the 9 tend to do? They tend to do like you like the Marvel comics, if I recall correctly. Yeah, Lizzie?
I think so.
You think so? I think so too. So you know Galactus, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you know how Galactus always like is just like his whole thing is like, you know what I need? I'm gonna make a herald. Just like uses the power cosmic and like makes some kick-ass thing like the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what the 9 do. I feel like Star Horse is, I don't know, like the most kick-ass one that they've made because Star Horse.
Yes.
That's my headcanon theory about what Star Horse is, because I don't think it is the 9 or like one of the 9. That would be cool though. That would also make sense, I think. But it's just between Zur, between the Emissary, and now the one true Star Horse. I think the Star Horse. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's one of the 9. That would be awesome, but it would also be like this huge reveal that like, oh, it's the 9. It's a cosmic horse, but it's the 9.
Like, I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like the Star Horse and 9 are not necessarily, maybe the same thing, maybe not. I don't know. It is weird though that in the Zur's treasure trove, there's a giant Jupiter just in the middle of the room. That's kind of weird. Like, what's that about? No one knows.
Oh, and how about those giant D8s?
Oh yeah, I remember you posting about that on Twitter. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe this all really is a game show.
If those are their D8s, they are huge. They are tabletop gamers. They are also incredibly large. Which would be fun. Actually, the 9, not many voices, people arguing anything. Yeah, how many departments are at Bungie?
A lot. They probably have
9
a
of
lot.
them?
I think there's probably more than 9. I think I've heard some people suggest that Star Horse is Bungie. Like literally Bungie.
Intense Winnie.
Pretty much.
That. Oh man. Okay. I I like that it's Bungie. Yeah, I would like that too. Especially if we never see Star Horse again, but that would be sad. I really want Star Horse to come back. I hope this isn't the last we see of this majestic beast. Um shifting us back a little to back to the theory. I really think that this has some legs to it. Especially in, if we go into actually everyone, if you're listening, if you haven't completed level 16 of the Dares of Eternity and you haven't gone and picked up all the stuff from Zur, the rewards and stuff like that, you might want to like skip next like 30 seconds maybe, or because this is going to be like a little bit of a spoiler.
When you pick up the catalyst for Forerunner is basically.
Yeah. When you pick up the catalyst for Forerunner, you get, and I saw this through a post on Reddit, so I'll link to the post in the show notes. But I'm gonna read that here. So like here's the point. Skip a couple minutes. Probably might like reference back to this, but we won't read it. I'm about to read it. So the party shows it's kind of sad too, but here goes. Zur pauses. Guardian, he begins, then wrings his hands. He takes a breath. These dares of eternity are not truly real. They are a paraversal remainder, and when the impossible horse leaves us and the realities realign, they will disappear forever. It will be as though they never existed. My memories of hosting, of the time I spent with you, they will disappear along with the dares. Please keep the treasures of this place close so that you are reminded of the time we share. Remember for me when I cannot. Zur's expression does not change, but you feel an aura of deep melancholy emanating from him. Yet mixed with that sadness, there is fierce pride. Guardian, Zur adds, thank you for playing. So,
so sad.
I know. That is such a sad, like, it's almost like,
Poor Zur.
Yeah. It's like God, I know they've done this in a few anime that I watch, but like in comic book culture too. But like it usually either like time travel's involved or like sometimes that sub personality due to amnesia, like some sillier tropes can be added to it. But like you lose that version of the person.
I know, it's sad.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna lose Game Show Zur.
We are.
At the end of this, and I'm gonna be sad. I'm definitely gonna be sad, but poor buddy. But the reason I read this, the reason I wanted to bring this up is the Dares of Eternity are not truly real. They're a paraversal remainder. So everything in there, it's like the restaurant at the end of the universe in a way.
Yeah, I kind of get that. It's just
Yeah. And so that but like inside a paraverse, just to keep using the term, see how many times I can say, if you're drinking, every time I say paraverse, take a shot.
Oh God, no, Taylor, no! You're gonna give people alcohol poisoning.
Or I'll get them really upset and like forget to say it the rest of the show. I'll be like, oh, okay. I'll like pause, like come back with their favorite drink, like, all right, man, let's do this. And then I just don't even say it, like, fuck you, Taylor. Don't. I should not encourage these drinking games. But the reason I bring that up is if everything is like remainder Paraverse remainder, almost like, and I do like the illusion that perhaps it's Bungie or perhaps the Nine, sort of idea earlier in the show, the Nine or Bungie, because the one thing about if the Nine are an organization, like Nine Towers or something like that, within their corporate structure, probably like many more like departments. I don't know how, because in different companies call them different things too. Sometimes it's not like uniform, so it's a whole thing. It's that would be really interesting because you'd have all these different descriptions would be accurate at that point because it would be a multiplicity of people. Like you know what I mean? So that would be fun. But the idea even that it's the Star Wars is Bungie, really fun too, because it's like actually, yeah. Tell me what you think about this analogy, Lucy. It's kind of like like extra code, like the notes in the code. Like there's space there. It exists, but like it's not part of the experience. It's only if you're like looking at that.
Thinking. I have no idea.
Thinking is allowed.
I don't know.
No worries.
I don't know.
No worries. Okay. So yeah, for this one, I really dig it, and I think it kind of like enhances the experience to think of it that way. Because then you when you're going in, it's like in comics or like your favorite live action show, like in oh god, like in Power Rangers when they get all the old Rangers together to come help.
Yeah.
Like when they get all the Red Rangers together. Like I hadn't even watched it in years, but I was like, oh shit, I know those Red Rangers. Might have to watch this episode. And then like here you have a grown ass man just like watching, like, yeah. Cheering like when I was a kid. So yeah, it's like it's almost like we might have to exact this, because canonically every person competing in the Dares of Eternity is the Guardian. I think these are therefore canonically the strongest 6-man teams ever assembled.
Yeah.
Like in Destiny.
No, I can definitely see that.
Leave it to the 9.
Yes.
To pull the like get the team together, like trigger like just harder than anyone else. Because if I think about it, that would include, yeah, like NBC's like canonical like raid teams.
Yeah, because I think the canonical raid team is like the Guardian and their 5 friends, who are also very powerful.
Yeah,
that's really all it really is. It's just like Guardians that are like the A team of Guardians.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely what as the canon. So like then you imagine like, okay, like this team's pretty sweet, like the Guardian and the Guardian's like 5 friends. And then you have like, what if you go like full Madden or FIFA, just like, okay, what if I had all the Guardians?
What if I did this and had all of the good players?
And actually, because it avoids a lot of like potential weird problems, because like I don't know if you'd really beat easily. I guess anything the 9 do is like easy by our perception, but you wouldn't hosting it in a place that's outside of the multiverse, the Paraverse. Drink. It just makes sense that you would have to assemble people from different places in a place that exists outside of where they all come from without like catastrophic bullshit. Because I feel like, I don't know, it's almost like that time travel worry, which is kind of silly because it doesn't make sense, but like you can't occupy the same space as yourself. Like
Yes, like if you go find your past self with a time machine and give your past self a high five, I guess the universe would explode. Or something. Don't quote me on that.
Well, I mean, what always, and maybe someone who's better at science, let us, if you're listening, let me know what you think, man. Because my thoughts on, like, every few years, you're completely cellularly different. Like, you've regenerated every cell in your body. So if you go back, it's different cells occupying a different space. So if you like touched yourself, and then like I won't get into the science about like I hate that armchair. Well, like, well, you know, you never actually touch anything. Like, yeah, no, I'm not. You touch yourself, like you can touch yourself. Phrasing. But for the sake of this argument, you can like give yourself a high five, and that just counts. Like you would be two completely different. You have completely different cells. So like, would that cause the issue? Still?
That's a good question. I mean, yeah, your cells grow and change and die, so I don't think you would technically be the same person on a fundamental level. Like, I know it takes time. I think they said it's like 5 or so years.
Something like that, yeah.
Your cells will be all completely different than you were however many years ago. So I guess there's like a limit. You can go 5 years or more back. You can't go before that.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense. Oh, and that explains why the stranger, which I don't think they've retconned this. Some people are like, they've retconned this. I was like, no, she has options. But the stranger in the lore cards in D1 goes back to like all the way back each time. And then you can kind of piece together from Dark Future that she rides them a ways. Ooh, actually. Here. This will be a fun one, guys. I'm going to include a bonus theory, you guys. I want to invite all of the listeners to add us on, and we're going to try our best to read as many as we can. But this is one I messaged Lucy about. Speaking of the stranger, this is one I messaged Lucy about. If you look at the stranger, like everyone's calling it a fish, right? And I got this idea. I was talking with Smart, who's an awesome guy. Psalm Lab, go check him out. I was talking with him. He's just done a video, like a little 4-minute guy, I think 4 or 5 minute thing on what is the stranger's fish. And I got to talking to him, and for those of you who don't know this about me, for about like 5-6 years, I did professional guide work, and I wasn't like a super duper pro fisherman. That's not what I'm saying. But I did a lot of guide work and professional angling, in freshwater mostly. A little bit of the bay, sometimes some deep sea, but it never like the stranger's fish. And I'm sure there's like a marine biologist out there too who's also a Destiny fan, just going like, this fucking guy gets it right now. The stranger's fin is all wrong for it to be a fish. A fish fin it's always vertical, it's always up and down. A mammal's is the one that's horizontal. So like a whale, think of like a whale or like a dolphin or something. Like and the fish is kind of moving in like an up and down pattern as it like swims through the air, and it has like, kind of like what look like big like fish fins coming out the side too, like little arm guys almost. And it has that flat face, and it just looks weird. And so, like, being someone who, like, actively handled and worked with fish, I don't know why this never struck me before, but like that is almost like entirely not a fish. It's just not a fish. And I was talking to Lucy about it after I was trying to like figure out what it looked like to me, and I got on the idea, some of the dragons that they have in here in DC, that they'll come up for like the Chinese New Year and stuff down in Chinatown, not too far from here. They have that sort of like smushed up face and like eyes almost in a similar position to the stranger's fish. And if you're thinking it's a dragon, that becomes kind of like a wavy, like mane kind of thing. The arms, and then the way it moves starts to mimic how the dance goes. The dance like movements that the gosh, what's the word for those guys? The performers. That's what I'm gonna go with. The performers who are in the suit do. Like it's this up down like motion. Shenlong in Dragon Ball Z. Another example, like kind of like it moves through the air like that. It's a lot more sort of like a vertical like snake like movement, and that's what you have here, the fish. So I submit, guys. What if that's not a fish? What if that's a dragon? Dun dun dun.
Yes, and what's really interesting is I've actually seen old concept art of Ahamkara, of Riven, and it looks very suspiciously similar to the space fish. Yeah, have you not seen... Hold on, I got you.
No, I haven't even seen that.
Hold on.
Real shit?
Real shit. I sent you the link to the art station, and if you scroll down the third image there, look at the wings.
Ooh. Yeah, that is creepy looking.
Oh yeah. And they're like, what's space dragon gonna look like? And they had all this beautiful, beautiful concept art. And the third one looks very similar to the space fish.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of gosh, this is like one of those. It's maybe like a flatworm almost, but with like moth wings.
Yeah, it's very definitely very weird.
Maybe more like a marine flatworm. But yeah, I see what you mean though. I totally agree about the especially the way if you look at the face like out into those little wings on the fish or the dragon, asterisks, that especially like the top there, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so we're adding that. I'll link to this as well. Very cool. So adding that, and you guys, if you want to add us on Twitter, if you want to write into the email spinfoiltheory@gmail.com, or you could add Lucy and I individually as well. But I'm curious as to what you all our lore fans out there are thinking about this one, because I think that would have a lot of implications.
I think either that, or because I know in one of the lore, I think it's either the ghost or the ship for Deepstone Crypt. I'm not sure which one it is off the top of my head. I just remember Elsie saying she needed something small to like ground herself every time through the time loops, so that her memory doesn't get all messed up. So that's what I think. I mean, it could be both. It could be like she wished for a way to remember and now she's a little space dragon. Or it could be like a more mechanical-esque device. I'm not sure.
Well, the one thing that makes me wonder is it's actually it's actually kind of interesting, because if maybe she got it in one of the timeline journeys, if it's a device that's meant to like mimic something else, it just reminds me of what the Fallen did with the servitors, right? They're supposed to be like the Traveler.
No, definitely. I'm just not too sure what it could be, because we know it's not a ghost.
Yeah, definitely not a ghost.
So, but it's something else.
All right, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that assessment. Definitely not a ghost. And you know, it's not that I think that's a bad idea. Listeners, I never want to like stifle people in, because like it's a level of creativity to come up and like connect dots and I'd never want people to feel like, like fuck. So like all of them, all of the theories are always welcome. The no ghost eye, but it's got these like four. Are those the eyes? And then the inside of it, it looks like that thing like was split almost. Like maybe it was one piece, or like maybe it never was. Maybe it's just like, I don't. It's a wild looking thing. If you haven't seen it in a while, I definitely recommend checking it out. Maybe I'll add this screen cap to the notes too. I'm just adding so many things to the notes today. For future Taylor to add to the notes. But we'll make it happen. Yeah. Yeah, guys, let us know. Like I said, you can add us, you can write in. If you're what is it? You can also come visit us on the Lore Hub Discord. You can add us in the Spinfoil theorists. And we'll do our best to come check out what you have to say in there and get it copied over and do a little response on our next episode. So, yeah, okay. I'm excited to see what see if anyone has to say, and then we can talk about this a little bit more next time too. Be like a revisit. It's like a background. It's like the B-side of the episode. Like you came here for the single. I'm just like, you know what? Put some else on this. Here you go. I noticed I could do this with the tape. Here you go. That's for you. B-side. I guess they do that with records too. They should. Well, I guess you can do that with like discs, but it's gonna end up scratching them. No, sorry, I'm an old man. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. Lizzie, do you have any more thoughts on this week's? On Are We All the Guardian?
I think we are. I think we all are the Guardian. Like, it gets kind of murky though, because I mean, like, for example, they've never confirmed like what class the Guardian is, or what race, or what gender, because that's us. We're the Guardian, the player. And when we do stuff together, it's like point of reference in physics. It's like, if you're on a moving train and you're also moving at the same speed of this train from like someone who's outside of the train, but if you're inside the train, you're not moving. I mean, technically you're moving, but if you're sitting down at your seat on the train, you're not moving. But you are. It's like frame of reference. That always messed me up in physics. But yeah, it's all like, because like, from your perspective, you're the Guardian, but from my perspective, I'm the Guardian. From Eric's perspective, he's technically it doesn't, we're all the Guardian. We are the Guardian, instead of we are Groot.
Oh man, I like that. I also want to do the communist Bugs Buddy. Like, I Guardian, we Guardian.
We Guardian.
Our Guardian.
Yes. Communism. Our Guardian.
Yeah. I might do that. There might be some sneaky memes coming because of this recording, everyone.
Oh no. Communism. Our Guardian.
Sneaky.
Oh no.
Our
Guardian. No.
I'm here for it. Yeah, I think I agree. I think that's, and I think it brings it up in such a fun way with this event. Like, that's how they deliver the information to it. And what's cool about that is because, Gjallarhorn also no, Gjallarhorn you get in game. I think this is like one of the first times like the Guardian does and says something in a written piece. Is that lore tab?
Yeah, definitely.
Just the delivery of everything in this event is amazing. If you haven't played it yet, you really should.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to move into scoring?
Heck yeah.
Okay. Would you like to go first?
Sure. I'll go first.
All right.
I rate this 23 strange coins. Exactly 23. I think it's
23 strange ones.
because that's how much it costs to buy an exotic in Destiny 1. At least I think it was 20. Either 23 or 25. Some weird number. I remember because I used to be really, really bad at PvP. Well, not bad at PvP, I just didn't like it. And my brother really liked playing PvP. So I'd always like, hey, Sawyer, here, you play PvP for me because I'm lazy and I don't want to do it. And he loved Last Word. He's like, this gun is awesome. I'm pew 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 pew. This is dope. Pew pew pew. And one of the times Xur was selling Last Word, and I remember getting on my little brother's account and doing nightfalls over and over and over to get the thing. And I literally got there and got him it right because Xur left at a very specific time. I got him it like right before Xur left, and he was like, "Yes, now I can be a cowboy." Pew 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 pew. He thought it was great.
Aw.
He thought it was great.
I love it. Yeah, Last Word, especially in D1, I think it like had the most. I want to say if you had to gauge stuff by like how much times a weapon sat in like as part of the meta, I want to say Last Word would win easily.
Oh,
especially
yeah.
in D1, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, Last Word was pretty poggers. I think it's pretty good.
I took a shine to it eventually, but as I got better at PvP, but it's sort of similarly, but yeah, it's so fun. So you gave it the price, and I like the story for how you remember exactly what the price was. So you give the in favor, you give the theory.
Yeah. No, I
think
it's pretty. It's good. It makes sense. I'm not sure what the identity of Star Horse is. Whether it's a member of the Nine, a sort of, I wouldn't say worker of the Nine, but kind of like how we have the emissary, we have Xur, one of those kind of people, or if it's above the Nine, like even crazier. So,
I mean, being the one true Star Horse makes me feel like there's a lot of like accept no imitations kind of thing. Like maybe is there another Star Horse?
Maybe.
Are those Star Horses bullshit? What is it? I like it. Okay. I'm going to give it 17. Yeah, I'm going to give it 17 treasure keys.
17 treasure keys. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. 17 treasure keys. Treasure keys of eternity. That's what I'll give it because I think that's how much the most expensive stuff costs. Something like that. Or at least like the stuff that I'm really hype about once you get to level 16. Anyway. I give it that in favor because, much like you were saying, Lucy, it makes sense.
Yes.
It just makes sense. And it really ties together, like, if you ever, I know some people have like headcanon for their Guardian, which is really cool. All the different ones that I've read, like, just add like extra story when I'm playing with that person now. The person's character, I'm like, oh shit, like, yeah. This is awkward for them now, but, or the character in some cases, like, oh, you're meeting them, like, ah,
yeah.
But this makes it possible, like, everyone's character can actually play together and have it make sense.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. So, kudos on this 30th anniversary event. I think it was well done, especially from the lore perspective. Like a lot of the other activities are just like, oh yeah, this is like some ritual that they do, or like, oh yeah, like they're trying to, ooh, you better shut down that gate, like like stuff like that, or like, welcome to the court, like you better do sword logic if you want to, like stuff like that. And I think from a lore perspective, this when. Lizzie, you know when someone does something and it seems really simple, but it like the more you look at it, it's like so elegant a move in the simplicity that it just becomes like, oh yeah, this can be kitschy. It can make reference to like, God, I can't. It off the top of my head, the event references whose line is it anyway? Bob Barker from The Price is Right.
Oh yeah, they had so many references and that kind of thing. I thought it was great.
Yeah, like it's so fun, and it all fits. It all works.
It all makes
because
sense.
of how they're saying, like, because of like the thought of this simple part of like, no, this is like paraversal, guardians, like capital G. So yeah, definitely in favor, and I think this is a fantastic theory. I give it plausible. I give it the likely. What's the term we use?
Yes, mythoclast theory. That's what
Mythoclast, yes. That's what it was. Groovy. Lucy. I know we were talking earlier. Shout outs this week.
Shout outs.
Yeah, do you wanna take the lead on that?
You want me to take the lead? So if you guys weren't aware, a article from IGN went out earlier this week about Bungie's work culture and how it's toxic, and a lot of people have suffered. Like, a lot of people have suffered and dealt with really bad people and harassment and just all of this terrible thing. And I mean, as we know, we've seen they're getting better. They're rooting out the toxic. They're firing the toxic people. They're getting more inclusive workspace. Hiring more people so that they don't have so few people doing such big tasks, because that can be really bad. And when it's a very long article that will also be we'll link to it in the show notes. But it kind of hurt, honestly, kind of reading this, because I know a lot of people have thought that, Bungie was, a good place, with all of seeing all of their inclusive stuff that they've been doing. It kind of hurt, because
especially the narrative team.
Yeah, in the article, the narrative team was the ones that was like treated the harshest, and one of the higher ups used the very, very, very toxic rhetoric that us, the players, were pushing out towards the narrative during Curse of Osiris, to be like, see, this is why the narrative team sucks. This is why they're bad. And I'm like, no. It just makes me really mad, because like, these people, they're trying their hardest, and when you're in like a toxic work environment, or like a toxic like place like that, it makes like doing good work, good work hard. And even in the article, especially with Curse of Osiris, there was not a lot of like cohesiveness. Like, the narrative, everyone would be in their little bubbles doing their own thing, and there wasn't really. That's why the story of Curse of Osiris was so disconjointed, I guess, because like, you have what happened in the story, and then you have like the comic book, but the comic book says completely different stuff that's been in the lore before. Like, there wasn't any like connected.
Yeah, not a lot of continuity.
Continuity, that's the word. I couldn't think of the word. But yeah, and I mean, like, and we look at the story then, and then we look at the story now, and now that they have, it's a work in progress. I'm not saying the story now is like the best ever, but it's an improvement. And we know that Bungie still has a lot more work to do. The fact that they're kind of at least trying to get better, unlike cough cough Blizzard and Activision, which,
oh god,
they're like trying.
We could do a special episode on like just talking about like how many times Blizzard has made me go like, holy shit, really?
Yeah, I mean, at least I have hope that Bungie will be better.
Yeah.
I it's my hope.
I was just going to add to anyone who hasn't read the article yet and maybe is looking at it now. These events happened from like beginning of D1 to 2000, beginning of development was 2012. So beginning of that to like 2018.
I mean, it's still like I was saying, it's still going on right now because one of the community managers, she ended up literally she left because of this kind of stuff, and she left
Yeah.
like this year, like super recently. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean the stuff you're going to read in the article
yeah.
is what I wanted to say.
Oh,
Like and it's so like if I mention that like that's when a lot of like because especially as lore people with the narrative team being the not it's not limited to them but being like the best example of some of these like hardships many people have been facing and continue to face in a lot of ways. It just hurt because they've I I I wouldn't be doing this show that I love to do. I wouldn't be, talking about the lore with some of the best friends that I've ever made through gaming.
yeah. It
Like it
makes me
just
really
hurt.
yeah, it makes me sad because like the reason I got so into Destiny was because of the lore. Like before Taken King, I kind of would look at the Grimoire and be like, that's cool, it's whatever. And then the Book of Sorrows came out, and I once I got all the pieces, I was like, oh, I'm gonna read this. And I went through and I read it, and that's when I got hooked. I was like, oh, this is so much bigger now. Oh shit, this is cool. So, and then from then on, I've been like super into Destiny, and I've made lots of friends. I met my girlfriend because of Destiny. I have like memories and all this good stuff because of Destiny, but despite that, I think that Bungie needs to do better. They need to treat the people that are making this game better. Like you can't do that. That makes me really mad.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if they have to delay the game like for not forever, but just I don't care if they have to delay the game again. I don't care. Just as long as people are happy and healthy and the toxic work environment eventually goes away. Because as we've seen with better people, the story gets, wait for it, better. Wow, who would have
Hmm.
thought? Like, you can't not look at the story in the early days and then look at the story now and say that they're the same quality.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying with more people means more, it takes the workload off of everybody, and that just makes it better. Because then because if you just have all this stress on like a very small team of people, that's not gonna work. You need to teamwork makes the dream work, as I always say.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And just to mirror that, it was so heartbreaking because like Lucy, like we said, so many great things have come for us as fans because of the lore, and then to read about just heartbreaking things about what the team had to go through to get just to get that story at some of the stories, our favorite stories, pieces of lore, some of our favorite writers, just to get that stuff out to us and the stuff they had to go through to do it. It it hurts. It's bittersweet. So I completely mirror Lucy in like one her anger and two like encouraging Bungie do better. Absolutely, and that's why I think we wanted to do a big shout out to the brave people at Bungie who came forward and spoke out and been working and trying to make a positive change there. just because that's not easy, especially when you read the article, you'll see. If you're like, well, yeah, you'll see. Some of the specific stuff in there is just it hurts. Um, so yeah, that's that's our shout out number one here this week. Um, Also, shout out to all the people. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, shout out to all the people who were affected by the tornadoes this weekend. That's yeah, tore through 3 states. There's some fatalities in there here in the U.S. and yeah, south into the Midwest, and yeah, shout out to those people too. That's rough. Yeah. Whew. Well, that was heavy, guys, but it was good to get out.
Yeah.
Good to get out. Yeah. Um. So yeah, I think with that, everyone take some time to treat each other nicely. Take some time for yourself. Get some sleep. Definitely drink water. You whole lot of water. And we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Doodles. That's off, Guardians. That's it for this week's discussion. Have any questions or comments about this episode? You can reach out to us on Twitter at Spinfoil Theory, or write us an email at spinfoiltheory@gmail.com. If you'd like to read our show notes, check out articles, listen to past episodes, and more, be sure to pay us a visit over at our website, spinfoiltheory.com.
The Lore Network.